Hi everyone, Taco Dog here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Please take a moment to like and subscribe so we can keep great stuff coming your way. And as always, thank you for the support. In this video, we're going to talk about lighting and how to use lighting when you're camping. Again, these videos are designed for people who haven't been camping before. Or maybe they have limited experience. And the stuff that I'm going to present here is what I use. It might not be best for you. You might not like it. Other people may have other opinions, and by all means, you should listen to them. But from my experience, I'm going to go through what I use and what I have. So, start with the basics. First off, always take a flashlight with you. Flashlights have some real advantages. You can carry them around easy, you can use them and point them in the direction that you want to. And most of the modern flashlights like this one usually have two settings, a low and a high. Now this happens to be a pretty good quality one. It's by a company called Surefire, which is a military supplier. It has a maximum output of 700 lumens, which is blinding. It also has a low output that just puts out a little light right in your immediate area. It's great for walking, it's great for looking for stuff, and it's very easy to use. This is powered by 3 lithium commonly available batteries. The type that I like has a push switch on the bottom, and you can twist the end of it to disable the switch. That way, if you put it in your pocket or you lay it down somewhere, it doesn't accidentally come on, which of course saves your battery. So the way I use this light is I use it for walking around and looking at stuff in the camp. And then if I got to look a ways away, I switch to the high power, and it gives me 700 lumens of output to see anything that might be out there. I generally don't do that in a campground, but when I'm out in the woods and there's, critters about or other stuff like that, it's always good to have a bright light so you can see what's going on. And that's what I use in terms of a flashlight. It's metal construction, very tough, waterproof. You're not going to break it. There's all kinds of these out there from various price levels, and by all means, find the one that's right for you. And you'll find out that you can use it very easily, and it'll be very handy. Okay. Second thing that I use is a small LED lantern. Now, camp lighting has come a long way in the last 10 years. You used to have essentially just fuel lighting where you use either propane or camp gas for light. And then LEDs came along, which were very low power consumption, and pretty soon all kinds of companies started making LED products. Now this one's by Kelty. It's an older model, and it's designed for use like on a table like this, or because it has a hanger, inside a tent. Now from the picture you're seeing, you're going to see my North Face tent illuminated by this lantern on the inside. So this particular lantern has 2 settings, low and high. Low is pretty good for, just some close lighting. High generally gives you a lot of light. This lantern's designed so it's reflective. So what happens is the light comes up, goes down, and out from around the light. The hanger is also very handy. You can hang this over a tent strap, so you got it hanging up in your tent, it's out of the way, and it provides the light. Again, most of these are fairly inexpensive. They're easy to use. This one takes 4 AA batteries, and again, lots of different options out there available for this type of light. The third type of light that I like to use is a work light. So this one's made by Ryobi, and like all Ryobi products, it uses a common 18-volt battery system. So what you can do is you can plug it directly into the back of the light. Then you instantly have your battery power. And this particular light also has the option to use a cord. So inside here you're going to see a plug, and you can plug an extension cord directly into this light. So it can use DC power or it can use AC power if you're camping at a place that has electricity. The other advantage of this light is that it has this type of handle on it. So it can hang from something, it can sit on something, and it can be pointed in just about any direction. One of the things that I like to do is I like to take these and bungee strap them to trees. So when they're bungee strapped to a tree, it can have a downward angle and it can provide wide area illumination. Now this light again has two power settings, low and high. And as you can see from the pictures, when I set stuff up at night, especially when I'm in a wilderness or wooded area, I'm going to use this light because it's very easy to illuminate the entire campsite. You can have it on high power, you can have it on low power. It gives you plenty of light for a long time. I would not suggest using this regularly in a campground. That breaks campground etiquette. There's nothing worse than having somebody with a very bright light hanging in a tree while, maybe 20, 30 feet away, you're trying to enjoy your campfire. That's not something you want to do. So if you are going to use this in a campground, what you want to do is you want to use it temporarily for setup, and then go ahead and turn it off to be courteous to other people. All right, so the last light we're going to look at is the Classic. So I call this the Classic because it's made by Coleman. Coleman has been manufacturing camping gear now for almost 100 years. This particular light that you're looking at is what's called a dual fuel lantern. Now, there's many primary type of camping lights out there available. Most these days are LED, some are still propane, even fewer are fired by camp gas or regular gasoline. They call this lantern dual fuel because you can get the white gas commonly available in camp stores, or you can use regular unleaded gasoline to put inside this lantern and light it off. The advantage of using a liquid fuel for a light is that you can carry that fuel around with you in a bottle. And this fuel is going to last a lot longer than any of your propane cylinders are. The bottles that I use are designed or made by Mountain Safety Research, or MSR, and they make a lot of outdoor products. In fact, the stove that I use is also made by MSR, and I'll show you to that in another video. The advantage of these fuel bottles is they're very safe. You put your fuel inside here, it stays in here without any problem. Now, this lantern comes, if you get it, in a plastic case. Always get the lantern in the plastic case if you're going to use it, because that way it protects the lantern from breakage and it's a lot easier to do. You're also going to need a funnel for your fuel, and I used this lantern last night, so I'm going to show you how it operates. First off, on the inside here, it looks like there's two white socks. These socks are called mantles. And what happens is when you put the fuel into the canister down here and you pump it up, it causes the fuel to come up the line, and when you turn this valve on, the fuel begins to aerosolize and it lights on fire. When that happens, these two mantles inside here start to burn. They don't burn up, they just burn the fuel that's contained in them. So these mantles last usually about 4 or 5 trips, maybe more, and they're fairly cheap. They're like $2 for a pack, and you can replace them at any time. Some of the propane lanterns these days also use those. So, how do we fuel this up? Well, first, you want to loosen the fuel cap over here, and you'll hear it hiss. You take your funnel, put it in there, open up your fuel bottle without spilling it all over you. Tilt your lantern back a little bit, and then carefully pour your fuel in. Now you only want to pour a little bit at a time so you don't overfill the lantern and you don't overflow your funnel. All right, for me, that's going to be about doing it. You want to look down that cap and you want to see your fuel. And if you can see your fuel, that means it's full. Make certain that you put the cap back on tight, like that. You want to be certain you have some air volume in there. Always, of course, cap your fuel. Camp gas or white gas is essentially gasoline. It's very explosive. It's also very unforgiving. So make certain that you got your fuel source capped and everything else is going on. My dog always has to comment during my video. Stop, silly. Okay, so let's light Bronson. Taco dog, settle down you. So let's go ahead and light up our lantern. The first thing that we got to do is pump it up. So here's your pump. You simply unscrew it, pull it out, put your thumb over the end, and then start pumping. Now the directions, if you ever read them, tell you to pump this about 45 times. Essentially what you want to do is you want to pump it to the point where it starts getting really tight. And once it gets nice and tight, like it is now, push your rod back in, twist it to the right, make certain it's tight, and you're good to go. Now, when I light this lantern, you want to look for one of the open spaces on the bottom. And we're going to do that. We're going to use this valve over here to turn it on. You're going to hear it start to hiss. Before you do that, get your fire lit, turn your valve on, and woof, there's your light. Now when it first starts to burn, what's going to happen, how you doing? What's going to happen is you're going to see some flame coming out of the top up there, and that's normal. When the lanterns start turning, or I should say the mantles start turning white, that means that the fuel has aerosoled. And once it's aerosoled, this will start giving you a very bright light, and that's what you want. As you can see in the picture from the camp, this is one lantern illuminating an entire campsite. And it's very easy to use, and it's adjustable, so it can go up and down. One of the nice things about these lanterns is that they really give out a pretty light at night. They do attract a lot of bugs, so if you have it set a little bit away from you, the bugs will go to the lantern instead of you. But the light that they give out is a real quality light. It can be very bright if you have it up, or it can be lower if you have it lower. So that wraps it up. I try and spend at least 3 days each month in campgrounds or the woods. Check my channel for regular updates. Again, please take a moment to like and subscribe so we can keep great stuff coming your way. Thank you for watching.